Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Are you feeling charitable? Then smash the subscribe button and the like button, and please do follow me on Twitter at MoviesTVMad. I normally talk about DC Comics live action on this channel, the DCEU. I have done Manchester United videos because I'm a big Manchester United supporter in the past on this channel. But with the news that Angel Gomez is refusing to sign an extension to his contract, I have to talk about this. I can no longer keep silent on this anymore. I have never, ever seen a manager such as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer get the protection that he's getting. I understand that the club will protect him, obviously. I understand that sections of the media will protect him. But fan channels will not criticise this guy anymore. They will not talk against him. Here's an example, right? Mark Goldbridge founded and runs the United Stand, and he presents it, and he does a damn good job doing it. I love Mark Goldbridge. I love the United Stand, and he's taken it to another level. There's no question about that. But this is his final word on Angel Gomez, and this just sums it up. Ollie wanted him to stay and saw him as part of the club's future. Fact. No, Mark. He's chosen not to by the looks of it. Read into that what you like, but as with many failings over recent years, I blame the negotiators. This is interesting. And you know what? When I quote tweeted this, right, and I'll tell you what I said on the quote tweet, but I'll bring him up on the last bit as well. This is what I said. This underachieving manager is getting so much protection. If you wanted him to stay, Mark, he would have given him more game time. So clearly he didn't rate him enough, didn't care if he lost him, and prefers underachievers like Lingard. This is on the manager. So let's go back to what Mark said. But as with many failings over recent years, I blame the negotiators. That's hilarious, Mark. You just will not criticise this manager because, Mark, since your channel has become so successful, you're not less capable. You're less willing to criticise this manager or criticise the club. It's okay to criticise the negotiators and the owners because they won't bite back at you, but you want to keep both sides of the fandom happy, both the Ollie outers and the Ollie inners, so you're kind of trying to toe the line now because business is business. Because when you first started out, Mark, it wasn't about business. I mean, you wanted to be successful. You're clearly a ruthless, ambitious guy, but at the end of the day, you won't speak the direct truth. This is nothing to do with negotiations. This is nothing to do with money, right? This is to do with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer not giving this young world-class player enough game time, but he's propped up people like Lingard, right? So Lingard stays. Think about this. Lingard stays, but Gomez goes. It doesn't make any sense. I don't get it, right? Why would you keep Lingard and give Gomez less games, right? Why would you do that? It doesn't make sense, right? So let's start again. So on this tweet from Angel Gomez, right, there's a few comments, interesting comments, who actually are more honest than Mark about this whole situation. If Ollie wanted him to stay, then why did he constantly omitted him from the squad and let a disgrace of a footballer like Lingard, who failed every time he played, start or even sit on the bench instead of Angel? You see, that's the best comment I've read. That's the best comment I've read because everybody can see that this is an inexperienced, underachieving manager. The other day when we were drawing, was it to Norwich? I can't remember who we were bloody playing in the FA Cup now, right? But you can see Solskjaer on the bench at 1-1 and he looked beshevelled. He looked like he didn't have a clue, right? This is the man who refused to buy the player we needed in the summer, right? And he refused to buy Bruno Fernandes in the summer. And then when we got desperate and we were crap and Pogba was out for so long, right, the club forced him into buying him and he's bought him more time. He's made him look like a good manager. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is clearly a good bloke. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was clearly a great footballer, and I loved him as a player, and he spoke a lot of sense as a player. But as a manager, he is a blagger. He came in for the first 3 months, played great attacking football when he needed to convince the owners and the fans and us. Once he made it impossible for the owners not to give him a full-time contract, he started playing defensively. This is a very defensive manager, right? And it's terrible. It's the other day who we were playing, and he was playing Matic, you know, and this was a team we should have gone attack against. Everything he does is thinking defence first. That game against Tottenham, right? When we were blaming the defenders, do you remember? The reason the defenders were under pressure because the players weren't holding the ball up enough because of Solskjaer's tactics. But all I hear from people like Roy Keane, like those disgusting comments he made about David De Gea, that he wouldn't let him on the bus. How dare you? I wouldn't let Ollie on the bus. Forget David De Gea. David De Gea has probably kept us above mid-table with his super saves, right? He makes one mistake and you're roasting him because you can't criticise your mate Ollie, can you, Roy? I love Roy Keane. He was a great footballer. He's a character, but now we know why Sir Alex booted him out, right? At the end of the day, all these ex-professionals are protecting this inexperienced, underachieving manager. He is a glorified temporary manager. That's it. You know it and I know it. And you're only defending him because you loved him as a player. He's a crap manager. We are not going to finish in the top 4. We are not going to win the FA Cup because we are crap. We are not crap because of the players. We are crap because of this manager. We are not good enough. And the sooner these fan channels understand that and stop keeping waving the Ollie flag. And I hear it all the time with these elite Man United YouTubers, all these Ollie outers waiting for Ollie to lose. It isn't about that. I love Manchester United. I don't want Manchester United to lose. Lose, draw or win, it doesn't matter for me. I'm still going to criticise this manager because he simply isn't good enough. And you know that. You can defend him till the cows come home. But this manager is not good enough. And now there's not one Manchester United fan channel who are willing to say, this manager isn't good enough. They're not willing to have the conversation because it's all about that. And I don't blame them. Congratulations. You're elites. You're a success. This is the difference when you're a little channel and you speak the truth because you want to bring the fans in. And as soon as you get a good little relationship with sponsors and the club, everything changes. Your morals go out the window, right? And it's all BS. It's all about the Pied Piper bringing everyone to the party, but not speaking the truth. These YouTubers do not want to speak the truth. They don't want to say that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer isn't good enough as a manager. It is not disloyal to say this, everyone. He simply isn't good enough. He isn't. He's not a good manager. He's not. He's tactically terrible. He's too scared to put a team out there, even against a little team. Watch it against Brighton. Watch it against Brighton. Are we home or away? I can't remember. Brighton have had a good record, right? They've got a new manager, right? Let's see how we do. I'm not confident about that. And then we got Chelsea in the FA Cup. Chelsea are leaps and bounds better than us. And I know we've beaten them this season and we haven't lost yet. But do you remember 94? Was it 93-94 when Chelsea didn't lose against us that season and everyone was rating Chelsea to beat us in the final and we smashed them 4-0. And don't forget, Chelsea were destroying us before we got the first penalty, right? But that's another case in point. I don't want to analyse a game from, over 20 years ago. But the point being, form goes out the window in the FA Cup. Chelsea are on good form. Lampard is one of the greatest managers of all time in the making. Not yet, but in the making. Who's going to go further as a football manager? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or Frankie Lampard? And I don't particularly like Frank Lampard. I don't want to support him. But he's a cleverer, more intelligent lad, and he knows what he's doing. And again, Abramovich has pulled it off. This is a manager who can be, and I mean, it's odd to say this, at a club run by Abramovich, but this is a manager who could be there for the next 20, 25 years. He could be there as long as Sir Alex Ferguson. And we thought that was impossible. They've got a great future now. Look at Liverpool. They got Klopp, a manager that we should have got. Why didn't we get Klopp? Should I tell you why we didn't get Klopp? Because we brought in Moyes. I don't blame them for the other managerial appointments apart from Solskjaer, because at the end of the day, right, LVG is an iconic, legendary manager. He wrote the plan for youth development at Ajax. What he did was amazing. He's an amazing coach, but at the end of the day, he was a supervillain. He was a nutter. They didn't analyse his character before they brought him in. Everyone was telling them, but they didn't listen. So I do blame them kind of for not doing their research. Mourinho, we knew what Mourinho was. We knew Mourinho was a problem before he came in. But if they actually let him build his specialist team with his specialist players, you know, 6 foot fast, athletic players, and playing the way he wanted, we would have done okay. And even without that, he did okay in the first year or so, right? But he's always going to fall out with people, right? We had opportunities to get great managers. We could have got the lad at Bournemouth, and I forgot his name, right? And now there's the Pochettino situation, right? He has not taken a club yet. He wants to manage Manchester United. The right thing to do right now would be to announce that at the end of the season, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will not be our manager and Pochettino comes in. But this club won't do this. And I'm one of those people who doesn't criticise the Glazers, because I try my best to be fair to them, because at the end of the day, people talk about net spends and BS like that. A lot of fan channels do, again, trying to protect the manager and, you know, divert the blame to the owners because they won't bite back, right? But the point being, when LVG was there, they threw a lot of money his way. And Mourinho got some good money in his first year or so, right? So you can't say they haven't spent any money. If you want to divert the attention away from the inexperienced, underachieving manager, you can talk about net spends, but I'm not interested in net spends. I'm not a back manager. I'm not an accountant. I'm a football fan, and all I care about is results. The other day, in his presser, on his press conference, he said it is difficult for Manchester United Football Club to compete with Liverpool and Chelsea. There's too many good clubs now. Can you imagine Sir Alex Ferguson or even LVG? Can you imagine LVG speaking loserish like that? What a loser. What a loser. It's difficult for us to compete. Of course, that's part of the challenge, Ollie, but you are Manchester United manager. And you're saying it's difficult for Manchester United to win trophies, to get in the top 4. I don't want this manager there. I don't understand what he's doing there. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. It is wrong. But what offends me the most is these fan channels protecting him, diverting the blame. And then while I'm here and before I go, I am sick and tired of these fan channels trying to put fans against one player and the other, right? The other day we were told Bruno was rubbish. He was bad. No, he was ineffective. There's a big difference, right? And so all of a sudden, Bruno's crap. The other day, Maguire was crap against Tottenham and Bruno was the best. All of a sudden, Maguire's the best just because he scored a goal, right? Great captain, he scored a goal. And Bruno's a load of crap. Without Bruno, we wouldn't be on the form we are now. Right? But now they're putting Bruno against Pogba. It's like these players don't play for the same club, but this is what these people do. They will do anything to protect this manager. These are the facts, right? Say what you want about the Glazers. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't win the FA Cup or doesn't reach in the top 4, in my book, if he should do both and he doesn't, he's out. Yes, it's harsh, but this is a harsh environment. Manchester United is one of the biggest football clubs in the world, right? We're not Oxfam. We are not Oxfam. We are not a charity. Oh, come here, little Ollie. You scored so many goals for us. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. The man is simply not good enough. And compare him. They've got Klopp. Our biggest rivals, Liverpool, have got Klopp. And we've got Solskjaer. What chance have we got? And I have to talk about these owners, actually, because by now, we should have a top manager. They haven't learned, right? I understand why Solskjaer got the permanent contract, because if they said no to that, the fans would have been at them. The form was so amazing. We thought we'd arrived with Ollie, but we were wrong. Ollie is nothing but a used car salesman, a blagger, and he's conned us. He even conned me in those first 3 months, the performances. The results. But even near the end of those 3 months that we thought we got a top manager by accident or something like that, we could see the form and the style of play was changing. So at the end of the day, you need to make your own minds. Don't be seduced by fan channels, because all they want to do, it's all about money, right? So none of them are going to speak the truth. I need to watch fan channels doing videos who speak the truth, who speak to me, the fan. And if you're not going to be honest and you're just in for the wonga, I ain't interested in you, right? I respect you. I won't be, I won't go below the belt and be toxic about you. But at the end of the day, if you're not willing to say that this manager is inexperienced and not good enough, that's not my opinion. These are the facts. We have had a shit season this year because this manager simply isn't good enough. He didn't want Bruno Fernandes in the summer. He didn't want Bruno Fernandes in the summer. Not the Glazers, not Woodward. And it was Woodward who forced him to buy Bruno Fernandes. Just keep that in your head as well. This manager has to go. We need a top manager. And if it's not Pochettino, it has to be somebody else. Are we going to... Look, what is happening to our football club, right? What is happening to it? We're losers, right? Now, I expected a downturn after Sir Alex Ferguson left, and I don't want to go into... I've done videos before, check them out, about Sir Alex and how he left the club in the shit and his decision to bring in Moyes. Was it a 10-year, 5-year contract? Ridiculous, right? It's like Fergie doesn't want his legacy outdone. Do you know what I mean? Who knows? Legend. He made dreams come true. I love him. But at the end of the day, Moyes wasn't the right choice, and nor have the other managers been. We have got a decision here. We have an opportunity, because this manager isn't going to get us in the top 4. Forget what they say at the fan channels. We're not going to finish in the top 4. We probably won't even beat Brighton this weekend, right? I don't need Ollie to keep losing for me to speak the truth about him. That's not what this is about. What this is about is that I love my football club, and yes, I want my football club to win. But win because they deserve to, and they play the right way. I don't think we've got the divine right to dominate English football or European football. We've got to do the business. But how can we do the business under this manager? We can't. And that is not the end of the Angel Gomez situation, according to the Manchester Evening News. So let's check that article out before we go. I actually think this is an old article, but I want to actually, this is an interesting article, because I want to divert your attention to what Nicky Butt has had to say about Angel, right? I've still got massive hopes for him. Butt told the men, he's got a contract dispute at the minute, which all players have, and I don't get involved in that. That's what he does with his agent and the club. That's personal. The boy trains every day and works hard, and his talent is unbelievable. His work ethic and the way he approaches training every day and the way he approaches games, whether he's playing for the reserve team, the under-19s, the first team, is spot on. And he's a very talented boy. He's different to players like Scott McTominay because they are powerful and they can go and compete at that level. Angel is different. He has to get the right niche at the right time. If it all comes together, then we've got one hell of a player on our hands. United manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer decided Gomez and Tabi Chong, also out of contract at the end of June, should play in the under-19 friendly win over Club Brugge last week. And Gomez, yeah, this is an old article, has not made a matchday squad since the 2-0 defeat to Burnley a month ago. So this is an old article, but it's just interesting to see what Nicky Butt had to say. Nicky Butt rates him, right? We are letting a world-class player go. Is it the same as the Pogba situation? Well, I suppose it could be. But at the end of the day, right, Ole Solskjaer has actually said publicly that he wanted him to stay. Ole, as I said to Mark, Ole, if you wanted him to stay, you're such a liar. If you wanted him to stay, right, you would actually have given him the game time he needed. But you didn't, because you didn't care if he stayed or goes. But you're going to pretend because... And this is brilliant because this guy walks between the raindrops, Ollie, doesn't he? He gets away with everything, while everything is focused on this player. He's too tall, he's too short, he's too wide. Whatever people are saying, it's all utter nonsense. The reason this kid wants to go, it's not money, it's not fame, because he's at the right club to be famous and get paid good money, right? He wants to play football. In fact, respect to Angel Gomez for not wanting to stay at the club and sit on his arse, right, and do a few under-19 kickabouts or whatever he's doing now, right? He wants to play for a senior side. And people are going to be chomping at the bit to get this young piece of potential on their pitch, right? But not Manchester United, not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Proof that his inexperience and lack of nous is the reason we are struggling. He is the reason we're struggling, not the players. He's a problem and he must be removed at the end of the season. And if he's not, we are going to carry on being this loser club, this Manchester United of the 70s and the 80s. And Liverpool will dominate for the next 20 years. And we're going to be bitter and we're going to be salty and we're going to be looking above us like they were when Sir Alex was dominating and winning things. But what do you think about all this BS? Comment down below, like, share and subscribe. And hopefully, if this gets enough traction, I'll do more Manchester United videos because I'm a big fan. I love the club, but I'm very frustrated right now and very angry. See you again soon.